On this episode of the Star Trek Universe podcast, we are discussing Lower Decks 206, the Spy Humongous, right after these uncontrolled messages.
Welcome to the Star Trek Universe podcast, the podcast where you get to listen in on the continuing Star Trek conversation that two lifelong friends have been having since they were 6 years old. My name is Matthew Carroll.
Welcome, Captain Janeway.
I'm actually Matthew Carroll.
Oh, my hat is not big enough. I'm David C. Robertson.
What's up, Dave? How you doing, bud?
Oh, real bad.
Oh.
Yeah, I hurt my back again.
Oh, man. That
it just
sucks.
happens.
That's awful. I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm used to it.
Yeah, I know it. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I hope it, I'm doing okay. I'm over here in Dallas, hanging out with Alyssa, and, always feeling good when I get to watch a good episode of Star Trek.
Sure.
So happy to watch it and happy to talk about it.
Cool, man.
What'd you think of this here Spy Humongous?
It was very light on laughs for me, but I did enjoy it. Like, there were elements of it that I liked more than, say, the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Like, on the whole, as an episode. But it wasn't as funny for me. So, so it's an interesting trade-off.
Yeah. It is weird with a show that's so comedy forward. It's like, what do you value? Because I often want there to be when the comedy is so forward. I often am like, yeah, like last week I was like, the comedy is super forward, but like, would a Starfleet officer do that? I don't know. Like, it bothers me. But then then I watched an episode like this that's pretty straightforward and a little less comedy forward, and it's like, yeah, I wanted a little more laughs. The Packlet, I guess like the Packlet, what do you think about the Packlet as a recurring Lower Decks species?
I think it is appropriate that they are the recurring Lower Decks antagonist.
I was thinking the same thing.
But at the same time, even since Next Generation, I have felt a little strange about the Packlet because I feel like they're just making fun of mentally challenged people.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that before, and like I can't get that out of my head now, and it does feel a little like that, or just like making fun of people with mental disabilities. Like, seriously, like that's the Packlet feel that way, and it's like I'm not a big fan of that.
And I know the last time I said that, like, someone got mad at me, but I don't give a shit.
Sure.
That's the way it feels. Like, I got a really angry email about that, so.
Yeah. And it felt like with this collection of the contaminated whatever, the artifacts from other worlds or whatever, it felt very, like, let's just put a bunch of situations that are really silly and wild. Like, it felt like an excuse for some imagination, which I'm always up for. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was enjoyable. I guess it's not just Boimler. Every time I just hear something screaming mindlessly, I laugh. Because that giant slug just cracked me up.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the resolution of that. I enjoyed a lot. I guess Boimler's storyline this episode. It's just a lot of fun. Like him, the red shirts cracked me up. Just you call yourself red shirts?
Cool name, right? Makes us sound invincible.
Yeah, so that was all fun. I like the Packlets with the giant hats. Was that like is that a previously mentioned thing, or is that new?
That's new, I think.
Okay.
I haven't seen that before. But I did laugh really hard when, like,
when he brings the king down or whatever, he's like
revolution. He's like, no longer will we be controlled by people with big hats. And then he looks up at the hat and goes, ooh, and puts it on.
Exactly. Yeah, that was particularly funny. It was a really good payoff for the whole thing.
It was very Simpsons.
Absolutely. Yeah. Overall, I liked it a lot. And still, like I said, Boimler stuff was, I think, my favorite. And I liked the resolution of the Boimler stuff a lot. Like when he, actually impresses the first officer.
Yes.
That was pretty great. And the actions he took to, like, make Tindy laugh. Being smart, figuring out what the problem was and solving it, and caring more about your crew than your own, advancement. Mm-hmm. That's Starfleet stuff,
Yep. And, I did really enjoy the little references they threw in while, like, teaching him how to become a captain. Like, your uniform is wearing you, and then, like, the little modifications they did were totally, like, a reference to the fact that you could see shoulder pads in, like, really tight shoulder pads and, like, tight-fitting clothes in, like, season 3 of Next Generation. Because it totally looks like a Next Generation fitting. Season 3 specifically, I think.
That's funny.
And the cat guy, the cat ensign?
Yeah.
That is a Kzinti. They first showed up in the Star Trek universe. In the animated series, the Slaver Weapon, which was weird because DC Fontana got Larry Niven, who is a sci-fi writer and created the known space universe, to submit a story for the animated series. And he wound up eventually doing an adapted story. It was adapted from the Soft Weapon, which was part of his universe, and he just totally, like, put the Kzinti in the Star Trek universe. So those cat aliens exist in 2 separate sci-fi universes.
That's fun.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just assuming he might be a similar race or the same race as the Doctor.
No, they're not Cation.
Okay.
But yeah, like when he was, like, demonstrating posture to Boimler, when he, like, hunched over, that was almost exactly the way the Kzinti appeared in the Slaver Weapon. Like, they were all hunched over and looked, like, distressed.
That's fun. Man.
Yeah.
The depth of the references on this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just wild, man.
Particularly pleased with that.
And I know you're a fan of the animated series, and, like,
yeah.
The fact that they're sort of re-canonizing all that stuff, which I know it's not that it's not canon, but, like, a lot of that stuff was never mentioned again. And the fact that they're re-mentioning it on Lower Decks, which is probably going to be another show that, in 15 years they're going to be arguing about whether is this canon or not. The Packlids really care about big helmets. I don't know.
No one will ever care about the Packlids again.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, there was a period where Gene Roddenberry said animated series was not canon, and then there was, a whole period after that, though, where, like, other writers kept going, except for this, and they just kept bringing in little bits of TAS canon and like, name dropping cities, and and they've been doing it, like, pretty much since the end, since, the Berman years, where they were just dropping in stuff specifically from, that show. So I don't know. I think it's appropriate to just go ahead and canonize it. Like, several years ago, they were like, yeah, all right, it's canon.
Okay.
So.
It's fun. Yeah. And this is a pretty appropriate way to do it in the, successor animated series, Yeah,
and I don't understand why it wasn't canon in the first place. There were, like, short adventures, but there were episodes written by DC Fontana. Like, it was the same crew, essentially. It was just animated.
Right. I just always assumed there were, like, issues with the canon, maybe that they wanted to do different in the movies or something like that.
There are a couple of things, like little pieces of technology that are a little weird. Like, they have force fields on their belts, so they could just go into any atmosphere, and we never see that again.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's easily explainable. It's like, oh, that didn't really work out. Like, there's something about that. Like, a couple of people got crushed to death inside of their own force field. We decided,
Right.
Or, you know, they had holodecks on the animated series. So, you know, but now we've seen that they had holodecks in, you know, Discovery. So, you know, pound sand.
Right. Well, also Enterprise, they meet that race that has holodeck technology, basically.
Yeah, man.
So
Trip gets pregnant by like sitting in a holodeck and putting his hands in some crystals.
That's true. Trip does get pregnant. Pregnant. I will never not hear the word pregnant and think of that freaking, what's that? The animals thing, you know what I'm talking about? The like, how the animals do. And it's like a guy doing a fake, Morgan Freeman accent. And he says,
maybe I've seen that.
I gotta find it. He just says pregnant one time, but he says it like pregnant. And I just like every time I hear it, I just hear like a fake Morgan Freeman saying pregnant. Cracks me
That's
up.
fun.
I don't know why.
All right. May I say my favorite thing in this episode was, them ransom telling Freeman that they have a spy on board, and she's like, oh man, how much did he get? And he's like, I think we're all right. He just took a photo of his own foot.
Yeah. That was pretty good. Yeah. The Pakled, I don't know. Like we said, they're a little weird and sort of problematic. If they're that dumb, how do they have a spacefaring society at all?
They steal technology from other races.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what they was said in The Next Generation.
Okay. So it's still weird.
I agree.
It's weird that they're able to pull that off without, you know.
But this isn't a Lower Decks problem. This is a Next Generation problem.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. I just don't know that doubling down and tripling down the Pakleds is the best idea. But it does, like you said, it's a pretty fitting villain for this, or like a antagonist for this series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I liked what the Pakled, you know, not saboteur, but the spy learned on their ship. He's like, what did you learn? And he says, the Enterprise has the biggest bathrooms, and that's not Captain Janeway. Pretty good. And then a callback to that a little later. Someone says, or it's oh gosh, what's his name? The security officer. Shax, thank you. Shax, it's Shax. He says, go clean up this. Pakled did something unspeakable in there. I think he might have said, wait, does he say cargo bay? Because that would make sense with they have the biggest bathrooms thing.
Maybe he did, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, okay. That's an even like sillier joke than I realized. Because it said the Pakled went to the bathroom inside one of the cargo holds.
And then when he pushed the button, he was outside.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
they're like, I think we've underestimated, or we shouldn't have underestimated him. And they look out the window; he's just like floating in space.
So he basically ran off to go to the bathroom. Yeah.
No.
Clean up an airlock 17. So it's airlock. Okay. Golly. So weird. We didn't mention Skin of Evil.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, Armis. Hey, Armis.
Big sack of crap. Damn you. Damn you all. Yeah, that was fun to see him. Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, overall, pretty middling episode, I guess, of Lower Decks. It was a fine time, right, as always.
Yeah, there is like an interesting. I thought it was interesting that they mentioned the Veruvian bomb that they were going to put on Earth, because they were talking about a Veruvian bomb in Kzinti, His Eyes Open a few episodes ago.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if that's
they said that
somehow
it was
tied together.
They used a substance to blow up Starbase 58. It was a Veruvian bomb.
Okay.
So, it's just kind of interesting to me. Like, a very subtle through line.
Yeah. This show is being more subtle than I realized.
I think it would be great if we got 7 seasons of this thing, and by season 4, there's like a full-on Dominion War situation happening on the upper decks.
Right.
And pretty much the entire show was just basically the Zeppo with the lower decks people just dealing with
Yeah.
war.
Talking about the Buffy episode. Actually, I was gonna mention the Zeppo. It's funny you say that. There's a really great shot in this one where Boimler walks out in front and is talking to the red shirts, and he's saying, we got to do this or this or this, and then behind them, they're literally Tendi and Rutherford are fighting two completely different monsters on different sides of the bulkheads. Mm-hmm. It was very Zeppo-esque.
Yes, it was.
Which for those, we will probably mention this episode again. It's a great episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where Xander is running around trying to do some smaller storyline issues while in the background there's a apocalypse happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really great. Really great gag.
So we just keep seeing different things with him trying to accomplish minor feats, talking to other lower level villains and characters, mm-hmm. and in the background you'll see Buffy and Willow being attacked by giant tentacles. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Another moment I really liked in this episode actually was the moment where all of the red shirts tried to step forward and handle the Tendi problem.
Yeah, and they're all giving inspirational speeches.
Yeah,
yes.
That was really nice. And especially my favorite part of it was it cuts down to the crew members under their feet and they're mm-hmm. looking inspired. So it's kind of working.
And then, as soon as another one starts to talk, they actually just look confused.
Yeah, it starts to get overwhelming and confusing and silly.
Yeah, I enjoyed all that, yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was just it's nice. It's nice. Nice, through line of, Boimler learning and the what is and is important to being a good Starfleet officer. Yeah. I love that the first one steps up. I'm rewatching it now. The first one steps up. They look completely awe-inspired. And then the second, they look a little confused. And then the third, and they're like, what's going on? And then Boimler jumps in. It's really good.
Here's a great line that I loved. How often did Riker clean his trombone? Oh, constantly. It was actually kind of disruptive.
Yeah, that feels like a sex joke, right?
I don't know. I don't know
either. It definitely feels like it, though.
Either way, I'm okay.
As over-sexualized as Riker is on the show, I feel mm-hmm. like that has to be at least a little bit cleaning his trombone? Or maybe that's what he says he's doing.
But I also could totally see them just having a scene of, Riker on the Titan, bridge operations going as scheduled and whatnot, and mm-hmm. then Riker's just standing there with a foot up on his captain's chair, slowly and methodically cleaning his trombone with a smirk on his face.
You got it, man. Those brass instruments get dirty. All that spit.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, that's about all I got to say about that episode. Anything else there, Dave?
Nah, man, I got nothing. It was a fun episode, but
yeah, I dig it. Well, I guess that's about it for the Star Trek Universe podcast. You doing all right otherwise, other than the back? You able to go to work and stuff?
Yes, but I probably should lay off for a little bit, but yeah.
Man. Well, dude, I hope you feel better. That's all right. Absolutely sucks.
I'm one of those people who get on the social media. and say like, "Oh man, your pain does not equal my chronic pain." Except I don't actually say that. Like I just go, okay. You know, I just said it now, but you know, I'm not all about it.
Right.
But yeah, like my back has been screwed up since I was like 12. Like
yeah, no.
it hurts all the time.
I know it, man. God. Well, I really hope you feel better, dude. And oh, by the way, thanks for everybody who went and gave reviews and said that Dave was weird or Matt was weird. We got a couple of them.
Oh, really? Did we? I didn't even look.
Yeah, we did. I'll try to pull a few of them together before next week, and see what this consensus is.
I'm okay with being weird. I don't really care.
Oh yeah, no. I don't find there's no judgment value on which one of us is weird. I just thought it was fun. I just thought it was fun that people actually responded to it.
I'm fairly certain that part of the reason my wife married me is because I'm a weirdo underdog.
What a way to root for an underdog.
Yeah.
To devote your life to them.
I mean, I'm not a good person. There's not really much else you could do.
I know, man. I've always said that.
I know you have. You ass.
Not true. All right. Well, dude, I hope you feel better, and tell Bethany hello. And oh yeah, if you guys, again, we're doing that review contest. So you guys who like the Star Trek Universe podcast, if you go over to our page on Apple Podcasts and give a 5-star review, we're going to give a Nintendo Switch or a Oculus Quest of your choice to one lucky person who gives us a 5-star review. Gives someone in the network a 5-star review. So if you go to strandedpanda.com/contest, you can see the full rules on that. So go do that. It'd be awesome.
And,
really appreciate
this time when you go and review Star Trek Universe podcast on Apple, say Matt Carroll does not need to have extra space added to his uniform pants.
This week I do, man. Whew, went out to dinner last night. It's nothing to do with nothing to do with any sorts of implications. It's just been eating a little too much this week.
Implications of large penis.
That was the implications I was alluding to. Thank you, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be that vaccination ball. You know?
I need a Menage compartment in my Menage cousins friends compartment.
Right.
In my pants.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's such a weird story. Such a weird story. Okay, everybody, get vaccinated.
Get them vaccine balls, y'all. They're full of government nanobots instead of semen. Okay. Live long and prosper?
It's all untrue. Please beam me up, Scotty. Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.